Hello, everybody. It's me again. It's been a long break. I'm sorry for that. And it's very warm. Oh, I might even have to take off my pullover. It's getting spring and it's getting warm. That's a very, very nice thing. So, as you might have already seen or guessed, we are in a quite different setting today because usually I've been training on a public plaza or little park, you could say. And for what I'm training today, it's not possible to do that in a public environment. Well, legally, apparently, it is possible in Germany. A friend of mine told me that, but I don't know. I'd rather not do it because otherwise people might feel threatened, and then it's getting a problem. So rather not provoke that. So yeah, today we are practicing archery. So let me just put on my quiver. There we go. So, and the kind of archery that I'm practicing is traditional Chinese archery. So there are a few differences to, let's say, Mediterranean or typical Western archery. The first difference is the bow. So the bows we use are, you could say, horse bows, but actually just traditional Asiatic bows. This is a bow designed after typical bow design of the Ming Dynasty. They look quite similar to Korean ones from the geometry wise, but not from the profile this way. Yeah, I like these ones. They're quite efficient. They're very light. And that's the first thing. The second thing that's different is we put the arrow on the other side of the bow. So in traditional archery, or let's say Mediterranean archery, you would put the arrow on this side, on the left side of the bow, if you're a right-handed shooter. But since we are not practicing Mediterranean archery, but Asiatic archery, we release, or I release, with a different method. So usually I have to three finger draw and release. And what I use is a thumb ring because I do a thumb hook. So my thumb is hooking around the sinew, the string, and then I lock the thumb with my index finger and I pull that way. That's quite common for mounted archery as well. There are certain benefits of that. I don't want to get too deep into the details. There are a lot of other YouTubers outside on the internet that can explain these things. If you want to have a detailed explanation, I can provide it to you, but not today, because today I want to practice a little bit. So, we have a target over there. Let me show you where it is. It's right over there. Oh, you cannot see it right now because it's behind the pole. But yeah, there's the target. I'm gonna shoot on that target and then rinse and repeat. So it's, you could say, quite boring because you only shoot on that, but there are certain things that you want to consider and pay attention to actually make some improvements. Let's see how that goes. So, first shot for today. Oh wow. This one went in a very different direction that I anticipated it to go. Yes. Very nice. Release wasn't clean. That one was better. Better. Not as clean as I want to. That wasn't clean. you could see the arrow that was wiggling in the air as soon as I released it. So let's put away the arrow, the bow, preferably into a spot where there's some shadow, because my bow is made of an epoxy laminate, and epoxy is not very UV resistant. Okay, let's go to the target. I would say that's for the first round, it's okay. How many yards are this? 15, maybe something like that. So not the best result. So what you have in thumb archery is it's hard to get consistent like in traditional archery. But for me, I think it's just because there are not that many people who do thumb archery, and it's very individual and you have to find your own consistency. For me, I have an additional factor that makes it hard for me. I use bamboo shafts. So all my arrows are made from natural or mostly natural materials, which in itself has already inconsistencies. So yeah, but like that was my first arrow. So that was just to get into it. My second and third, I think they got into here. And then these are the ones, especially this one, and especially this one, are the ones where I messed up my technique. So for me, and what I am striving to, is that my arrows fly straight. This is the #1 priority. Straight flying arrows. If I am able to do that, then I'm quite happy with that, because it's hard, or not hard. You can make arrows fly not straight with an improper technique. But even if it's like that you have an improper technique and your arrows don't fly straight, that's not a big problem, because they fly straight. So the #1 priority is straight flying arrows. That's also, I think, one of the reasons why there's this saying, straight as an arrow. And it doesn't refer to the shape of an arrow or an arrow shaft, that it is straight, but I think it refers to an arrow's flight, which is the most important part. Because if your arrow doesn't fly straight, which means it wiggles in the air like this, it loses a lot of energy. And you don't want to have that. Second thing is, it becomes unprecise. And you don't want to have that as well. You want to be able to see your target and with a certain kind of chance radius, be able to hit that target. But if your arrows aren't flying straight, they sometimes fly a little bit off to this direction or a little bit off to this direction. You can find consistency in that, but since you're losing energy, I think it's not the best way to do that. Maybe it's, for me, I think, for my ideology in archery, it's best to strive always for straight flying arrows. And if they're not flying straight, you have to change up things. Maybe do your katra a little bit better, or your release is not proper and very unclean, dirty. Or there are other things that you have to look into. But not straight flying arrows is, I think, one of the best. It is the typical indicator of there's something you have to change. If they're flying straight, whatever you do, stick to it. If you're happy with like the draw weight and the way your arrows fly, like the ballistic curve and stuff. So yeah, lots of technical things. Let's go for round number 2. There was someone walking in, so that's why I stopped. Yeah, that was clean, but not center. But that's okay. My main purpose for today, and most of the time, is to train for technique. If I manage to make my technique as consistent as possible, I'm able to work with that. So first I have to settle in my technique. Hitting and wherever I'm hitting, for me at this moment is not the most important thing. As long as I hit the target and not break my arrows or anything else, I'm happy. Nope, that wasn't clean. Let's see if it's maybe, it might also be the arrow's fault and not only my technique. Might be the arrow's fault. We'll have to check on that. Okay, so the two highest arrows. The last one flew quite okay, but the one where I said, oh, that one wasn't flying straight, might be an error in the arrow. Okay, let's see what we have here. So this was the one where I wasn't sure if it's flying straight or not, and this one as well. So let's put this one aside. Wait, how does it sound? No, okay. Because sometimes if you have a crack in the bamboo, you can hear it. Sometimes, not always. So let's just pull. That was the one, the faulty one. That was the second faulty one. So let's do it like this, so that I know this one for sure, this one maybe. And the other ones, you can see the grouping is very tight, and that's what you want to have when shooting arrows. It's rather, especially if you're just practicing, not important to actually hit on target, but to have a tight grouping. Because a tight grouping is something that you can work with. You just have to adjust like where you're aiming at, which is maybe for people who are not instinctive archers a little bit hard to tell, like, how do I aim? But in instinctive archery, it's less aiming. It's like you're looking and you're concentrating yourself at the target, and you get somewhat adjusted to the picture you see that you observe when you concentrate yourself on a target. And then you kind of know where the arrow is going to if you aim at a certain point. If you aim in this direction, you know, okay, the arrow is going a little bit more to this side. And if you aim in this direction, the arrow is going a little bit to this side. That's something really interesting, because for many people, this is something which is too abstract. So you can't really get it in your head, like how this behaves. But when doing instinctive archery, it really is just like, in the beginning, just shoot 100 arrows or 1,000 arrows as fast as you can, with the setup that you're somewhat okay with and that you like, and a bow that you like, and some arrows that are okay. They don't need to be perfect. They don't need to be your end all be all, not at all. But just something, and then shoot your first 100 or 1,000 arrows as fast as you can. So you kind of get a feeling onto, okay, if I hold my arm in this direction, if I hold my arm in this direction, it behaves in this and that way. Of course, it's beneficial if you have someone who can teach you archery. It's very beneficial, and you can mitigate a lot of mistakes. I kind of did not, especially for thumb archery and asiatic archery. So I made a lot of mistakes, many mistakes, to get to the point where I'm right now. And I am very happy that it somewhat gets consistent now at this point in time. I think it's a little bit overexposed, right? Now it should be better. I'm sorry. And yeah, what was I going to say? A lot of mistakes. Find yourself someone who can teach you what you want to practice. If you don't find someone who is practicing or who is teaching asiatic archery, thumb archery, there is one guy on YouTube which I can really recommend. His name is Justin Ma. And his YouTube channel name was, I think, Chinese Archery. or something like this. I'll link it down below, and like he makes really good explanatory videos, and if you just try to stick to them as good as you can, I think you will not make any big mistakes. But having a teacher or a trainer still is better, because then the teacher or trainer can tell you, oh, you're making a mistake, which you probably didn't realize if you just practice by yourself. Okay, let's shoot some arrows. That was not very clean. That was the second one that I shot before in the other round. So now let's shoot the one where I said like, oh, this one was very not clean. Try to make the technique and the release as perfect as I can. Still, it might be the arrow. It actually might be the arrow. Let's do it again with the other arrows. Very interesting. The release wasn't clean, but still it flew very different. Better. Better. Almost hit another arrow. Better, but release was messed up. That one didn't fly straight. What was wrong with that one? But I think it was my mistake. But for the one arrow, that one, I'm really not sure. Let me get that one again and shoot it again. Maybe, just maybe, I made something wrong twice. Because I don't want to blame it on the arrow. I made them myself, so it takes quite some effort. And then if one of these arrows turns out to be not working, that's something I'd rather not have. Okay, let's shoot that one again. Still, let's go one more time just to confirm that this arrow is faulty. Oh, that didn't really go in. That's interesting. Yeah, so the penetration power, if you have an arrow that slaps against your bow when releasing it, is just not there. It's like, it feels like losing a third of its power just because it's not flying straight. Still, I think that arrow is not good. That makes me sad. Okay, let's get the other arrows. This arrow is the one that I said is the faulty one. The first time I shot it, it went here, somewhere around here. The second time it went somewhere here. And the third time, did I shoot it 3 times? I cannot remember. The last time I shot it, it still went up and a little to the left. So I think I really have to take this one out and then just recycle what I can recycle, which is especially the tip. They are just glued in with some hot glue, hot melt glue, and maybe the feathers, but I don't know if I can be bothered to take them down. That really makes me sad. That really, really makes me sad. But that happens when building your arrows with natural materials. I don't know, maybe it's also something, isn't... Oh, that's this one. Oh yeah. I think I know why. Because this one is not 100% straight. You have like an S bend in it, so it's like bent like this. So it's straight until this point, then it bends into this direction and then up again. So I might be able to fix it, and it's at a node. So I have to bend here, just at this point, and then bend here in the opposite direction. But this is better done over fire and with a special tool. But still, I think I can maybe maybe do that. Not today, later. Let's stick it properly. That's how you do. And yeah, the other ones are pretty good. I didn't really aim, so that's quite a good result for not aiming at all, or just practicing for technique. So how many do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 arrows. I have 2 that I have to repair at home as well, and then I have 10 more, but they have a little bit different weight. They're a little bit lighter than these. Okay, so from this batch I have approximately, let's say the two arrows that I still have to repair, and this one as well, turn out good. Or just one of them turns out faulty, then I still have 8 usable arrows. That's okay. That's enough. Still, if this batch fails on me at a certain point in time, I still have the second one. I'm thinking about making an arrow building guide video for bamboo shafts as well, or at least for how I build them. But there's still a lot of, let's say, accuracy missing in how I built them, because I don't have a spine measurement tool, which is quite needed, because right now I'm only, oh, this is a little bit dirty. I'm only sorting the bamboo shafts by the weight, not by the spine. And I also didn't cut them, because they have different thicknesses at different parts of the arrow. And if I cut, let's say, the thinner part on all the arrows, they still turn out to have a lot of different weights, and I still cannot be bothered to like put in some extra weights to calibrate them to make them all weigh the perfect same amount, and then also to re-sort them according to their spine. It's such a hassle. So yeah, that's why some of them are not turning out as I would like them to turn out, but that's okay. That's not that bad. Okay, so I had to put the camera at another place, because I had it in the direct sunlight, and then it showed me an overheating warning. So I hope this is working now. You will see my back again. I'm sorry for that, but that's how it is. Let's shoot, let's say, 2 more rounds. I think 1 more round is fine as well. 1 more round. Maybe 2. We'll see. Let's shoot the first. The release was very nice. That one wasn't bad as well. Didn't go to the same direction, but that's okay. Oh no, that was bad. Did you hear that sound when I released it? Not when it hit the target, but when I released it. You don't want to have that. That's the noise of your arrow slapping against the bow and then getting drifted off in the air, and then it flies sideways for a while, then it flies sideways the other way, and slowly adjusts itself to fly straight. But you don't want to have that at all, usually. So could be my mistake and my technique. Also could be the arrow. For this other arrow, we figured that it's probably the arrow, not my technique. There was a slight noise, but it was better. Nope. I think my technique is getting worse, so I definitely have to do another round. That one was good. Okay, let's get the arrow and do a second round. Okay, round number 2, and I think the last round. I didn't shoot that many arrows today, but that was my first time shooting arrows on video and filming my archery practice. So I don't think I need to throw that many arrows today. And first I will review the video, upload it, and then I'll see what I can improve on the next videos, I think. Nice. Let's shoot. And let's try to make the technique as perfect and consistent as we can. Nope. 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 Well, I think it's okay, but like still, I'd like to have it no noise. Better. It's okay. So, I just walked down to where I was shooting from. It's about 15, 16 yards for those who want to know. These two that are sticking together were the first ones that I shot, the first two ones. I think that was the third one. I don't remember. And that's the size of my hand. So I think that's the first two are pretty good grouping. This one and this one we try to ignore. Okay, agreed? Very nice, okay. Yeah, I think that's okay. For not actually putting effort into like hitting the same spot, it's okay. This one was a release mistake, this one as well. I didn't shoot that well in this round as well, which makes me wonder. I might shoot another round just to figure out if I'm changing something with my technique, which is bad. You don't want to have that. You want to stick to one technique, one release, and just like do it over and over and over and over and over. You want to have consistency and you want to be as consistent as possible. Archery is not about precision, or well, it is about precision, but precision comes from consistency. So you want to make every variable that you have, your arrows, your bow, and especially you yourself, the archer, is the biggest variable you have. And you want to minimize all the things that you could do different and make it the same every time. That's the most important thing. And then frequency. So don't shoot 100 arrows on one day. Shoot 10 arrows every day. Same as with everything. Okay, let's do one more round. Okay. Last round. Let's do this. Let's see. No. Am I making something different? Maybe this. No. No. That's weird. This one didn't fly straight. All the other ones flew straight, but I heard a noise with the other ones on the bow. But with this one I didn't. How does that make sense? Nope. Well, it's okay. It's not too bad. I think that's okay. Well, the grouping is quite good. Okay. the grouping is okay. It's not very good. So you have 2 very close here on this side, you have the 3 on this side, and you have the one that's that was a mistake. So that's about the size of my hand on 15 yards. Not where I want to go to. But hey, it's all a process. And I think the process is what's enjoyable. Okay, let's get these arrows out. Nice. Okie dokie. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.